Hey everybody, welcome to Brewings TV. I'm Tom Terwilliger. Prost. Well, first off, we want to start off with a shout out to our Chicago Cubs. You gotta love those North Siders and the way they played this year. Gave us a lot of hope. Got us almost there, but not quite. Well, as we say in Cub Nation, wait till next year. Well, speaking of that, I was hoping too there would have been some cool World Series Cubs Breweriana that would have come out of them winning a World Series. And the prediction from Back to the Future would have been a cool, ironic piece of history, too, that the movie predicted they would have won the World Series this year, but no such luck. Anyway, got a couple of beer events we want to tell you about. The Shell's Border Batch recently held their annual Stubiefest on a beautiful fall day on the last weekend of September. Here's the report. The Shell's Border Batch held its annual Stubiefest celebration at Dan Stevers in New Ulm. It started off with a bang, of course. First, a Billy Beer can shoot, as we put some Billy Beer cans off to their eternal resting place. Then it was a midday fun in the sun with cornhole and other games, some socializing, and just all-around good times as we had a few beers and enjoyed the weather. The grand prize was revealed for our Christmas raffle, the Howenstein bench with the Shell's Border Batch logo. Next, it was time to load up the hay racks and head for New Ulm. Down the river road we went, the sunshine, the beautiful weather, 72 degrees, a cooler full of beer. You couldn't have asked for a nicer day for a hay ride. Once in town, we had to make a quick stop at the Kegel Club for beers and a bathroom break, and we told this girl we'd make her famous on Brewings TV. Then the B&L, Mowins, Smileys, and off to Dan Stevers as we got back and enjoyed some wonderful food, some good times socializing, great Shell's beer and Grain Belt beer, and then, of course, some karaoke with the World's Worst Band and the karaoke guy. It was a lot of fun. Stubiefest 2015. You can't beat it. Yeah, that was a good time. Stubiefest always is, and when the weather's nice like that, it's even better. If you missed it, you missed a good party. Maybe you can be there next year, kind of like the Cubs. Well, speaking of great shows, the North Star chapter held their annual Guzzle and Twirl. We were up there, and of course on the way home, we always stop at Town Hall, and I picked up this growler of their Dortmunder. Now, I'm normally a Shell's drinker, but I like to drink other things too. I'm going to tell you, this Dortmunder lager of theirs is fantastic. And I had to try it out in my new Hams glass that I got at Convention at the Miller Brewing Company. So these glasses that are shaped like beer cans, you've probably seen them around. I think they're pretty cool. So I thought I'd show that off here on Brewings TV as well. Well, anyway, Guzzle in 42 was one for the record books. Here it is. The North Star chapter held its 42nd annual Guzzle and Twirl Breweriana show in the Twin Cities. And to do it right, you got to show up on Friday, get to places like the Muddy Pig seen here with lots of craft beer, or the big new opening of Bad Weather Brewing Company. They've been making beer for over a year, but they finally opened their doors to the public with their own brewery. And then off to Tin Whiskers, a food truck sits outside. Inside, you get to see the entire brewing facility right there before your eyes. And apparently the big beer board has lots of good choices, as these two seem to be having a difficult time making up their mind. Yes, it was a good time, and there's many great breweries in the Twin Cities. Friday night at Guzzle includes the hospitality room with free pizza, all kinds of good beer. Steve Miner found some beer cans to add to his collection. Yes, and Bob Jackson even had his own hospitality room. Then the big day arrives, Saturday morning at Aldrich Arena. Guzzle and Twirl is finally here with all kinds of tables of all kinds of breweriana, and this lucky guy scored a Shell's Pre-Pro wooden keg. It just keeps getting better every year.
It seems like every year it gets better, and I think a lot of it has to do with all the advertising, all the stuff on the computer. Everybody interested in beer stuff, and the craft brewing industry has brought a lot more people into our hobby, which is really, really great.
There's been a great turnout, plenty of walk-ins, many collectors that come in, haven't collected for a while, set up a table. There's a feeding frenzy at their table. I encountered one of those that was 3 deep.
What brings you to Guzzle?
Well, it's a great show.
You were presenting to me, I think, a strategy you had for, there's 300 tables here, and you were kind of taking notes and then going back through?
Yeah, early on, and maybe a lot of guys do the same thing. My first round is just to kind of go a little bit quickly and you know, a lot of other guys are doing the same thing, so they're not even at their tables. So I just kind of take some notes on if I see a few things I'm interested in, you know, particularly if they're not there, and come back later on when I've got more time to really, you know. So it's just a way. It's like indexing. I'll know where to go back to see if I can make a deal on something.
Scored some good trays. I saw that our chapter president, our former president and video historian and videographer scored a beautiful Howenstein tray, which I hope you'll see later in the show or broadcast. I am broadcasting my love for beer cans here broadly.
What kind of things could a person expect to find here today?
Well, you name it. Any beer item that's that you see neons, lighted signs, glassware, signage, cans, beer cans. Our club originally was a beer can club, collectors club from the 70s on when the beer can collecting was a big fad. And we've kind of grown since then to include all the other types of Breweriana, beer signs, and all that kind of stuff.
So you come all the way from Portland. What brings you here?
Seattle.
Seattle, I'm sorry.
Always wanted to come, so having a great time. Love the Midwest, love the beer. Can drink Grain Belt all day long, and just what a great time and a huge show and just endless things to see.
I can't say enough about the people in this club. The people in this club are awesome. We're like a family. We all have known each other for years, and you can really tell when you put on a show like this how many people are here that come year after year religiously to this show, simply because maybe they don't even want to buy something. They just want to see their friends and drink a couple beers.
Wow. You talk about fun. That was one of the best guzzles I've ever been to. And I did pretty well. Got some nice things for my collection. Had a really good time. Saw a lot of good friends. And just reconnected with people and with the hobby. It's always a good feeling to go to shows, and especially Guzzle and Twirl. There's just so much there to take in. Looking forward to that one next year. Well, coming up on our next episode of Brewings TV, we're going to take you to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where we visited some breweries. One of those had a neat thing called the Crowler, as we pay a visit to another road brewing company in Cedar Rapids on the next Brewings TV. Until then, Prost!